always forget to say this. Make sure you comment and like and subscribe if you like what you see or hear in this case. But yes, I love anime. I'm a huge nerd. I literally don't watch any TV. I just watch YouTube and I watch Crunchyroll. Huge anime person. So we are going to rank all of my favorite arcs from one of my all-time favorite animes, One Piece. But yeah, I love this show. I remember watching it when I was a kid, and bits and pieces here and there, and I didn't get into it until about 2.5 years ago. And I'm so glad that I waited, because there's so many episodes out that I could just binge and binge and binge. I don't know what I would do if I was watching it week to week. That would be awful, 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 which is where I'm at right now, because I'm all caught up. But I feel like now I've gained such an appreciation and a love for One Piece that it's just an ongoing thing. I have taken a break so I can build up more episodes. But yeah, here is my definitive list of One Piece arc tier list. Okay, so starting off, Romance Dawn, the beginning, saga, volume, the beginning chapter. This was my introduction again to One Piece, and it holds a special place in the series for me and for a lot of people who watch One Piece, because it's the start to everything. It is One Piece. You meet Luffy, you find out how he got the scar, you meet Shanks, and it's just like the set of a great adventure. And so I would have to give Romance Dawn an A because of how pivotal. It's not there yet, but it is a pivotal arc. So that's what I would give it, an A. Romance Dawn, an A. Next is Orange Town. Orange Town is where we meet Nami and we meet Buggy, and we also meet Zoro. We meet a lot of characters in Orange Town. So, no, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. We meet Zoro in Romance Dawn, but we meet Nami in Orange Town, and Orange Town, I would say, is a B. It's good. Buggy is cool. He's a cool character, but at this point in my One Piece journey, I was just in it because I knew of what was to come. They say if you can get past episode 60 in One Piece, you're a fan, and that's definitely the case. And not saying that they're slow, but there's almost I think there's like 1,120 something, 30 something episodes right now in One Piece, and 60 episode build to really get that emotional payoff and the story telling to unfold. So Orangetown gets a B. Syrup Village is at the bottom of B. I don't like Usopp. He's annoying. Plain and simple. I don't get along with him. His character and my personality don't vibe. He has cool moments, but because of that, I give it a B. But Captain Kuro was a really cool villain. And one of the first times that Luffy ever had to deal with somebody who was on, not saying that he was the same level as him, but he gave Luffy a run for his money. They were like this, but Luffy's better. Okay, Baratie, we meet Sanji. We finally see the scope of the world because we're introduced to Mihawk, and Zoro pledges his allegiance to Luffy. A lot of pivotal moments happen in this arc. I'm gonna have to say A because, yeah, Baratie is fire. It's a great arc, and I love Sanji. He's a great character, and there was a lot of emotion. This was where you could tell that there was something special in Oda, the creator of One Piece. His storytelling is one of the greatest, and you can tell the depth that he goes in Baratie is like a signifier of that. So Baratie is an A. Arlong Park, top of A for right now. I think Arlong Park is, it's a great arc. It's the culmination of everything in the East Blue, and this was when you become a fan of One Piece or not. If you're not a fan, you make it to Arlong Park, and if you don't like it, you don't like it, and I would suggest just moving on because it's not for you. Everything in the story presents itself by Arlong Park, and Nami needing Luffy and her friends, and just the help and the betrayal after, or the betrayal before, and Luffy is like, he understands Nami and her plight to save her village, and yeah, it's just like a very beautiful arc. So that's an A for Arlong Park. Loguetown. This was when I got super excited because you finally see the scope of the world. We're making it to the Grand Line, and we're just at the precipice of an amazing story. And not that it hasn't been amazing, but you can just tell that there's so much more to offer in this arc. And so I give Loguetown an A. You meet Smoker, you meet Dragon, spoilers, Luffy's dad, and it's just like a really good signifier of what's to come. So yeah, Loguetown A. Reverse Mountain, I give Reverse Mountain an A. We meet Laboon, Crocus, and Laboon and Crocus come full circle, and the foresight of Oda to have this be a plot in the story is incredible. And yeah, I just love the anticipation that I felt of getting into the Grand Line when we were at Reverse Mountain. It's just Whiskey Peak is interesting. Zoro ends up beating up and fighting all of the townspeople because they're secretly working for, you'll meet later on, but they're secretly working for Crocodile, who's this huge mob boss, but you don't know who he is. And it's cool, like Luffy ends up fighting Zoro because there's this, Luffy thinks that Zoro is just, chopping people down left and right after they have given them such plentiful food and hospitality. But really it's because they were after them. And yeah, it's that's kind of frustrating, but it's an okay arc, so I give Whiskey Peak a B. We're also introduced to the power structure, Mr. Five, Miss All Sunday. It's pretty interesting. Miss Christmas, it's pretty cool. Then next is Little Garden, where we meet the giants, Brokey and Dory, and they're relevant now more than ever. And yeah, Usopp really has a shining moment here, which I think is cool. And yeah, I like when they fight Mr. 3, and you get an allusion to one of Sanji's pasts, Mr. Prince. So I felt that was really cool. And it's just a fun, inventive arc, and it's a good setup for what's to come. Because next, if I didn't say, Little Garden is an A. Next is Drum Island. We meet Chopper, another member of the crew, and we see his upbringing, hometown, and just this was when Oda's storytelling and character building was on full display. It is such an emotional arc. I give Drum Island an S because it's just phenomenal how he's able to weave these characters together and to make you feel something for all of these characters, even though you're just meeting them. The only thing I will say is that Wobble is a shitty antagonist. He's lame. So, Alabasta. Of course, Alabasta is an S. It's amazing. It's an amazing arc. It was like, the first time was Arlong Park. But the next time that I was like, dang, I really love this show, was Alabasta. There's so much history and richness. All the characters are amazing. And the fight between Crocodile finally gets exposed, and you know who Mr. Zero is, and just his stranglehold on Alabasta, and how he's able to control the whole island and just make all of these people fight and get in the way of Luffy and the protagonists. he's just an excellent villain. Crocodile's an excellent villain, and it's an S. So, okay, next is Jaya. Jaya is really cool. It's a cool arc. It's a transitional arc into where we are headed, which is Skypiea. But it's just like, you know that there's something really cool going to happen. And I'm very partial to this arc because it came at a time or I was watching it at a time when I was very happy. I was in California, and it was just a very peaceful time, and I have a lot of appreciation and nostalgia for this arc and my feelings around that time period. So, in all biasness, it's an A for me, and it's a great setup arc. We meet Blackbeard. And we just learn more about our characters, our team, the Straw Hats. We learn more about them and just their character and their ideologies, which I think is really awesome. Okay, next is Skypiea S. Skypiea is an S. I love Skypiea. I think it is one of the most inventive arcs in One Piece. An island that sits tens of thousands of feet above the world and sits in the clouds. The clouds are made of a different texture to hold all these people. I think that's just like so cool. And when I saw it, I was so enthralled with Skypiea and Enel, the main antagonist, is amazing. He's so powerful, but it's cool because Luffy is his natural foil. So he totally destroys the Straw Hats, with the exception of Luffy. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's just such an inventive arc, and I love it. So Skypiea gets an S. I have my notes. So but yeah, if you have any suggestions or want to talk anime, comment down below. I'm thinking about doing an anime ranking tier list, or like a Studio Ghibli ranking tier list. I just love anime, so I'm a huge nerd. As you can see, I have manga back here, so I have more too. But some paper sounds. Some paper sounds. Okay. Long Ring, Long Land is awful. It's not awful, but in relative terms, we were just back to back to back, like amazing arcs and storytelling. That Long Ring, Long Land was such a dull moment. I hear it's better in the manga, but in the anime, I could hardly stand it. The only thing that saves it from being in the D tier is that we meet Aokiji. And it was the first time that the Straw Hats ever faced true defeat. And you see the power of the admirals. They're all hyped up, and then you actually get to meet them, and you're like, holy cow, these guys are so strong. So I give Long Ring, Long Land a C. There's a lot of theories saying that it might come back as like a Davy back fight with Shanks and blah blah blah, but I think Foxy's power is really cool though. So Long Ring, Long Land, a C. Okay, so this is the part after Long Ring, Long Land where One Piece just it's on a tear, to be completely honest. It is so good. So if you make it past Long Ring Longland, you're in the clear. It's like amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, so Water 7. With that being said, Water 7, S tier. Another super cool arc based off of Venice. There's betrayal, and betrayal on all ends. From you find out the people that you meet in the beginning aren't who they say they are, and they're actually super evil, and they work for the world government. And then you get betrayal by Robin, but it's for good reason. There's a whole backstory, but with Robin, but yeah, it's just like, it's such a good arc, and it leads into Ennie's Lobby, which is another S for Ennie's Lobby. I have never cried so much in an arc when Robin, just like thinking about it, makes me tear up. Just thinking about her saying that she wants to live is like so emotional, because I feel like I've been there, when you're hopeless and you have nothing but your friends to encourage you to keep pushing forward. And yeah, it's just such a great arc. And Sogeking, the fight between, well, I guess before, Water 7 with Mary, the Going Mary, the ship that they've had this whole time is finally on the verge of death. It is dying, and they Usopp can't come to grips with that fact, so him and Luffy have this huge fight, and then in Ennie's Lobby, he basically, Usopp leaves the crew, and in Ennie's Lobby, he comes back, but it's Sogeking, which is just, him in a mask, and Luffy, God bless him, he is so stupid and so naive that he believes that this is a completely different person from Usopp, and you can totally tell it's Usopp. And it's just like, that dynamic is so funny and cool, and if Usopp used Sogeking more, I would like Usopp more, to be completely honest. I just feel like it's such a great arc. Ennie's Lobby, and then the fight with Rob Lucci, Luffy going gears 2nd and 3rd. It's just like, you're just like, holy cow, what an arc. And then post Ennie's Lobby is another S. Again, I never cried so much for a ship in my life. Just like the Going Mary was like, I was heartbroken. And yeah, it was like Frankie joins the crew. It was just incredible. So, and then they build the Thousand Sunny, which the Sunny's been around forever, and there's, well, now, and it's like an homage to the Going Mary. Like, the Going Mary's never died, because the Thousand Sunny still carries on the legacy of the Going Mary. So I give post Ennie's Lobby an S. Okay, Thriller Bark, a very divisive arc. I give it a B. Let's just start off with that. I give it a B. Gecko Moria, he's a cool villain. But the build up to him and seeing him, the hype just like wasn't. The hype was too much for the payoff. It's like an album you're really anticipating, and then the album comes out and it's kind of mid or it sucks. Like, that's what I feel like Gecko Moria was. I still feel like, though, he was a great antagonist. I love the vibes set in Thriller Bark. I love the characters that are in Thriller Bark, and like who they are in relation to the story. You don't find out that most of the animated corpses are like really, really strong characters, and you're like, holy cow, that's awesome. But yeah, you get Nightmare Luffy. You get a bunch of like, you get the nothing happened moment. You get to see Kuma and him in action and his devil fruit. And I just really enjoyed Thriller Bark, but it was very long and a slog. And yeah, just the lead up to Gecko Moria was a little disappointing. So I give Thriller Bark a B. Sabaody, S. Great arc. It's really where you meet all of the people in the worst generation who are these pirates who are coming up with Luffy, and they are super strong and rival the 7 warlords of the sea. And you know, you get to meet all them. You get to meet more of the admirals, not just Aokiji, but you meet Kizaru and Fujitora, and it's just like they're so strong on like another level. And you meet Sentomaru and the PXs, who are like Kuma, but they're just cloned or robotic cloned versions of the actual Kuma, who are used for destruction. And it is the like, the Straw Hats have been beaten before, but not like this. This was like a hopeless beatdown, where like before it was like the Straw Hats were there was still hope after they got beat. You realize like, okay, well, there's a way for them to come back. But this was like, holy cow, I don't know how they're going to come back. And Luffy's like desperate cries at the end were just like really impactful. And Kuma just sending them all off to their destinies to train was like such a great moment. But you don't realize that it's a great moment. And it's probably the last time that we see all of them together, because in the next half they're like split up. They're together, but they get split up more often than not. And yeah, everything's more intense in the New World. So right now we're like, it's called Paradise, which is not the New World. The New World is like super harsh and run by pirates. There's hardly any government control. So with that being said, Sabaody is an S. Amazon Lily is an A. I really liked Boa Hancock and her character development, and just how she just loves Luffy, and her backstory and her powers, and how they are in relation to the rest of the story, how she helps him later on. Amazon Lily is an A. Impel Down, S. I love that it's based on Dante's Inferno, and only One Piece would you see that like a jail is beneath the ocean on the bottom levels, which is such a cool concept. That is such a cool idea. So I love the jailbreak escape, and Luffy is this close to saving his brother, but he's always 2 steps behind. It's like such a nail biter. And then we get to Marineford. Marineford is a freaking S. It's such a good arc, and it's like everything you ever wanted in a war arc. It's just like all out war. Yeah, I get it. People talk about the pacing, but like it's meant to be that way. It's phenomenal. And the ending of the war arc, where like Luffy breaks Ace out, but Ace still dies because Ace is a hardhead and he's an idiot, and he just has something to prove, and that got him in trouble. So yeah, Marineford is an S. After that is the post-war arc, where it's basically like the training arc. Everyone goes to train. All of them are becoming better fighters because they need to be the best. You have to beat the best. So they're all in their training arcs, and it's just like you gain that hope again, because Marineford and Sabaody really beat Luffy and the crew down, and like Luffy lost his brother, and it was just, it was just sad moments, and it's like they're returning to form, and you feel that hopefulness again. So with that being said, Return to Sabaody is an S tier. It was such a feel-good arc. Like, they're just all so freaking badass, and yeah, they totally whoop everyone. The only irritating part was the people, I forget their names, but they were faking being the Straw Hats, and that was super irritating, because it was like they built this dynamic where the real Straw Hats were missing each other because of this conflict of interest. So Return to Sabaody is an S. Fishman Island is an A. It was a pretty good arc. I liked Hordy. I liked the inventiveness again of the arc. It's like mirror arcs, because they have Skypiea was 10,000 feet in the air, whereas Fishman Island is 10,000 feet below the sea. So having that dynamic was super cool. I love the water. So just being able to see that and see the ocean life and see how the Straw Hats fared in the water, where they're totally out of their element, was really cool. And you see all of the severe racism that is in One Piece. So I think, even though it's bad, I think that that's necessary for the story, and it's a reflection of the times that we still live in. So I think it's, art imitating reality. Punk Hazard. A lot of people don't like Punk Hazard. I think Punk Hazard is an A. I liked Caesar. I love Law, and Bergo was like a really cool super cool. And Caesar had like really, really cool powers. The Gasu Gasu no Mi, just there's so much inventiveness in his devil fruit that I think he's an underrated villain. So Punk Hazard for me is an A, and it sets up Dressrosa and Wano and Kaido, and it sets up Doflamingo, all of that. So speaking of Doflamingo, Dressrosa, this might get a lot of flack, but I think Dressrosa is an A. The pacing, Dressrosa was so long. It was so long. There were parts where I was like, excuse me. There's parts where I was like, okay, well, this could be a bit shorter. But with that being said, there's a lot of really great development, and I think Doflamingo is one of the greatest antagonists in the story. He's rude, he's evil, he's a sociopath, he doesn't care, he's just like knock down, drag out, a bad man, and it just really shows in this arc, and I think that in and of itself is worthy of an S, but the pacing and some of the fights were really slow. So with that being said, there's a lot of really great stuff that happens, but it's still gonna have to be an A, top of A, but an A nonetheless. Okay, so I thought So was a really cool arc, being on the back of a giant elephant, Zunisha, and Zo means elephant in Japanese, and just the lore dump of Zo and Zunisha and what it's for, and you see the poneglyphs, the road poneglyphs, and yeah, just like Jack, Kaido's right-hand man, not killing, but, you know, basically wounding, like the, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting their names. Not their names, but the species of, what these creatures are. They're like humanoid, animals. I'll probably remember it. I'll probably flash it up here. But yeah, I just thought that it was a really inventive arc. So I give Zo an A. Okay, Whole Cake. I like how there was a huge detour. You think you're gonna get to Wano, and then you have to save Sanji because Sanji betrays the crew, but he doesn't betray them. It's kind of like a Robin situation where he has to, or else the crew is going to be in danger, and he doesn't want to be selfish, so he leaves with his family. That's my cat, by the way, if you see it moving. But yeah, I love Sanji's development in Whole Cake. I feel like Whole Cake was such a great arc. The fight with Katakuri and Luffy, one of the best. Snake Man is such a cool transformation, and just Luffy's progression in a short amount of time into like true amazing fighter. He like learns so fast, and Katakuri notices it, and it's just like an excellent arc. I give Whole Cake an S. And then all the while After that, while they're getting set up for Wano, it's the Reverie. I give the Reverie an A. It was a little boring, and to be completely honest, I don't remember much of it. I don't know. I thought, well, I remember the lore that was dumped upon me, but I could not tell you what truly happened. I think I was like falling asleep half the time. I was with my partner at the time. Like, you know, we were watching it together, and that's what I mean. Like, we're still together. But, yeah, I was with them, and we were watching it, and it was just, I think I fell asleep like a couple times. It was just like, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. But for the lore that it dumps, it's an A. Okay, Wano. S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier. Yes, it's long, but it is a step up in animation. It is so freaking beautiful, and so much exposition and lore and character development, and just like, oh man, I cried for they split it up into 3 sections, and every section I cried just because it was like, there's so much development and you feel so much for these characters. It's hard not to get emotionally attached to them. And so, yeah, it was like Wano was amazing. So I give Wano an S, easy S. Momonosuke was pretty annoying though. As a kid, I thought he was just like crying all the time, and that kind of irritated me. But in the end, he redeems himself, so I give it an S for sure. And the fights were like, Kiss, the best fights ever. And which leaves us on the last arc so far. I'm halfway through it, so I can't give you a for sure. But I say S. Egghead is an S. Yeah, it's another arc that is divisive, but the art style is amazing. The fights, again, are incredible. And it was just like a step in the right direction after Wano. And we're in the final saga of One Piece. So, I'm just like all enthralled. I hope they go on another S run. S to S to S, back to back to back to back to back. But yeah, that is my ranking. Here is the organization of the list. Feel free to pause it if you want to check it out. But with that being said, One Piece is an amazing story, and it is an amazing show. So tell me your favorite arcs in the comments if you watch One Piece, or just whatever anime you watch as well. If you stuck to the end, I love you. You're amazing. I love you regardless, but you're a real one for that, for sure. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I think that's it. This was a ranking of One Piece arcs. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see. If you have any suggestions, or if you'd like to see me rank any other arcs or any other shows, or I might do an anime one soon. So be on the lookout for that. But yes, I hope you guys relaxed, and I hope you're feeling great, and I hope this was relaxing. with that, I will see y'all later.